That Friday night, the door to my dorm room, 407, suddenly sounded a light, resolute knock. The hook was set. It wasn't a normal knock. It was the dry, flat impact of a heavy object, like a rubber mallet hitting oak. It created a perfect rhythm too quick. One slow that never repeated, i.e., Elias Thorne was sitting in the middle of the darkroom, my phone screen, the only light source, feeling a chill run down my spine. It was 4 a.m. Riverside University dorms should have been silent, with only the soft hum of the central AC. But that knock shattered every rule. Who is it? My voice was hoarse, not quite my own. There was no answer, only silence. The room felt like a soundproof chamber. I took a deep breath. The scent of musty air and old dust from the worn leather chair clung to my lungs. I remembered the rules. My criminology thesis had trained my memory for detail, and I recalled every word of the strange message sent to the dorm group chat just an hour earlier. It came from the account of Mrs. Miller, the strict resident advisor. Absolutely do not open the door. Check the clock, check the chat, do not trust familiar voices. Below it, an anonymous account named the Skinwalker had pinned another message with detailed rules for the game. My heart pounded against my ribs. I stood up, my bare feet hitting the cold wooden floor. I walked slowly to the room's ventilation grate and pressed my ear against it. I heard a sound, a soft, light noise, like leather shoes shuffling on the hall carpet. But it wasn't the steady rhythm of footsteps. It was stopping, slowing, tension. Someone, or something, was moving slowly in the 4th floor hallway. I picked up my phone. Opening the chat app, the 4th floor group was in chaos. Liam from 403 wrote, "Guys, it just knocked on my door." It sounded like Dean, my roommate, saying he lost his key. Zoe from 405 immediately replied, "Liam, Dean is home. He just posted a picture of his feet on Instagram." Don't open the door. I hear a child crying at my door. A heavy sigh came from outside my door. It was long, deep, as if the person had held their breath for too long. I immediately video called Dean, who was home for the holiday break. His face, groggy and hair messy, appeared on the screen. "Yo, Elias, what's up? Why aren't you sleeping?" "Dean, did you just text Liam? Are you in the dorm?" My voice was almost a shout, but I tried to suppress it. Then frowned it, rubbing his eyes. "No, I'm at my grandma's house." "What are you talking about? Is your dorm okay?" "Thanks, Dean." Hang up, and remember not to call me back. A terrible feeling washed over me. If Dean was real, if Zoe and Liam were real, then what was outside the door was bop, bop, bop. The knocking returned. Bah! This time it was different. It was violent. No longer a rubber mallet. It was the sound of a doorknob being twisted violently. Metal scraping metal. And then a voice. A voice I couldn't mistake. "Elias, it's Dean. Open the door for me. Please." "I'm sorry," I lied. "I came back. Someone's out there. Someone is walking in the hall. It's not a person." Dean's voice was shaking, full of panic. "Dean, if you're the real Dean, tell me." I took a breath. "Something only we know." What color was the necklace I gave my sister? There was a sharp intake of breath outside the door. A terrible moment of silence. It was turquoise. "Open the door, Elias. I'm going to die." "It's coming." My heart dropped. That was true. Sarah's necklace was turquoise. No one knew that. I reached for the lock. My hands were trembling. Boom. A loud, terrifying sound. It didn't come from my door, but from room 403. The sound of splintering wood, of tearing metal. Tina screamer, short, abruptly cut off scream. I crouched down, looking through the gap beneath the door. I saw Dean's familiar sneakers, but they were turned away from my door, facing the opposite direction. Meanwhile, it's terrifyingly long, Thin shadow was cast into the crack of my door, as if the physical body and the shadow were in two different places. I recoiled in horror. "Elias, hurry," I answered you. "It's Dean. I know about Sarah. That name. The forbidden name. Dean never mentions Sarah." I looked at Mrs. Miller's message again. "Do not trust familiar voices." And then my phone lit up. A new message from Zoe. "Elias Donk? Don't open. The impostor knows about Sarah. It knows everything." I heard it whisper through my door. How could Zoe hear something through my door? At that moment, another message appeared from Liam's account just seconds after the scream. "I'm fine. It's Dean. I opened the door for him. He's here. Safe. You should open it for him too." "Elias." All my logic collapsed. "No," I shouted. "You're not Dean." Dean hates turquoise. He always mocked it for being the color of baby food. Silence enveloped the hall. This time, it was a deadly silence. And then, the voice, still Dean's voice, but now with a horrible, crackling sound at the end of every word. "Elias, I watched you. Baby food. You win. You saved Dean. I heard footsteps outside. Stop. But you failed, Sarah." A second voice sounded. One eye couldn't place. "Open the door, Elias. It's time for her to come home." I trembled and backed away. I looked at my phone. Liam's message was gone. Zoe's message disappeared. Only Mrs. Miller's message remained. "Your suspicion is bait for others." I was so focused on whether Dean was fake that I didn't realize Zoe's warning and Liam's confirmation were the bait itself. They knew I would call Dean. They created a small flaw for me to think I had one, but their real goal wasn't to trick me into opening the door. It was to force me to close the door of trust on my friends. "You succeeded." My voice was cold. "Everyone is gone." The crackling voice laughed. "Almost Dean is the last one left. He's hiding in Liam's bathroom. He won't open the door. He still has faith, and he knows you won't let him down." My door rattled violently, not from a knock, but from something pounding on the back of it. "Dean won't open the door." I said, "He doesn't trust anyone anymore." I looked in the mirror. My face was pale, but my eyes were burning. I recognized the game's metaphor. Sarah, my sister, died because I couldn't face the blizzard and ran away. I abandoned her. Now, I betrayed Dean. The voice outside softened, but grew more terrifying. "Ah, Elias. That's why you're the last one, because you've learned to betray trust." I heard another sound, a wet noise, as if a heavy object was being dragged across the floor outside the door. "Dean will be tortured until you open the door," the impostor said. "He will pay for your suspicion." I let out a dry, hollow laugh. "No." I closed my eyes. I calculated. The Skinwalker's rule says those who fail the standard will be punished. I opened my phone, launching the calculator app. I typed 407. A sharp, throbbing pain shot across my temple. I squeezed my eyes shut, trying to breathe. When I opened my eyes, I realized the room was no longer dark. The sickly yellow light from a desk lamp I didn't remember turning on was shining into my eyes. The musty odor was gone, replaced by the smell of cold disinfectant and metal. When did I turn on the light? Or did I lock myself away during the crisis? What did Dean do wrong? "Elias?" I heard the voice from the hallway, as if it were right next to me. "Dean called me," I said, resolutely. He broke the rule about no phone contact. Liam texted after being compromised. Zoe broke all the distance rules. All of them are disqualified. I took a breath, swallowing. But I'm different. I didn't open the door. I didn't trust. I followed the rules. I am the only one left. The voice outside became angry, losing control. You can't win. You have to open the door. No. I was calm. It's 10 in the morning now. Mrs. Miller's office hours. She'll come check. She see the truth. I looked at the chat screen. Mrs. Miller's message was gone. Only the rule remained. Mr. Smiller gave the warning. The impostor gave the rules. You chose. Right then, I heard a piercing, simulated fire alarm sound echoing from the hallway. It was an unnecessary, excessive distraction. I covered my ears. The alarm lasted 5 seconds, then stopped. Then came absolute silence. And then another sound. This time, it came from inside my room. A soft click. I slowly turned my head. Not believing my eyes, my secondary deadbolt, the one I had locked from the inside, had been undone. Just then, a gentle, familiar voice whispered from behind me. Big brother, you were right. You should never open the door. It was Sarah's voice, Ispun Haron. Standing there wasn't Dean or Liam. It was Sarah, my little sister, holding the turquoise necklace, but her eyes were vacant, soulless. And she was wearing a jacket belonging to Mrs. Miller. The Skinwalker doesn't imitate strangers. It imitates the rules themselves, she said. You didn't know what Mrs. Miller said before she died. She handed me Mrs. Miller's phone. The screen showed an unsent draft message. Mrs. Miller, Dean has been attacked. You must open the door for him. Otherwise, you will be taken. I had misread it. Always misread it. I believed my own fear. I abandoned Dean, the only person who knew and accepted my guilt. Sarah reached out her hand. The cold, icy smell of the blizzard filled the room. You betrayed trust once, Eliath, she said, her voice echoing throughout the room, and you chose to repeat it. You chose the false safety of isolation over the painful truth of loyalty. Your failure wasn't opening the door, it was that you couldn't connect with anyone. She was the punishment. You won this game! Sarah laughed, a hollow sound. But you lost everyone. You will stay here, forever. She reached out, gently closing the door. I heard the click of the deadbolt locking, not from outside, but from inside. I ran to the door, pounding on it. Open, open, Sarah. There was no sound from the hall, only Sarah's cold, crackling laugh. You can't get out, Elias, she said, and no one can get in. You won! You are the only one qualified to survive. I turned back, looking at the empty room. Darkness was swallowing everything. I knelt on the floor. The smell of disinfectant and metal grew stronger. I heard a sound, a low hum, the hum of the AC. But this time, it sounded like hundreds of voices whispering. They said, one thing, you are the impostor. I looked down at my hand. My hand was still trembling, but this time, it wasn't from fear. It was from euphoria. I was the last one. I had one. I will stay here, in room 407. I will stay here until a new knock comes, at 4 in the morning, and I will never, ever open the door. Thanks for watching until the end. What was your favorite part? Please let me know in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss my future content. Your support is my biggest motivation. Thank you all so much.